Hello. I hope that you are having a great day. Thank you so much for joining me today. For those who are returning, I want to say thank you so much for coming back. And for anyone who is new, I want to say thank you for joining. My name is Ashley, and I am the magical sister. What makes me so magical is the fact that I take all of the skills that I've learned over the years and I teach and I assist children and adults with healing unhealthy financial traumas and helping with building financial confidence so that you can have generational empowerment, but also you can build a legacy, one that you're very proud of. Today's topic is going to be all about living paycheck to paycheck and how to break that cycle. If you are currently living paycheck to paycheck, number one, you are not the only one. So I just want you to know that over 70% of working Americans actually are living paycheck to Monday. So that means that when you're getting paid on Friday, your check isn't even lasting until Monday. And that's something that a lot of Americans, over half of Americans, are dealing with that. And they're trying to live within their means, but the prices of stuff is starting to go up so much that you can't live within your means and not live like a more expensive life. And that's something that we are all about healing, is living that life that you feel like is just you're in an endless rat race. So my first question I want to pose to you, and we're just going to go ahead and dive right into this topic and this discussion today. I want to know, have you ever felt like your money just vanishes the moment that you get paid? You get paid on Friday at 8 a.m. and then by 12, like by the time you go to lunch, over half of your paycheck is gone because of the bills that are coming out. And these are essential bills, things that you need, necessities, but sometimes also it's because of things that we don't necessarily need. And we're purchasing things like that Friday lunch. You know, when you like, I'm gonna get the shrimp, the steak, the scallops, the crab, I'm gonna get everything in there. And now you're spending $40, $50 on one meal, where you could have took that $40 or $50 and you could have broken it up into, multiple meals. Because this is something that we have to learn how to heal and we have to learn how to overcome, is that paycheck to paycheck type of living, but also having that feeling of, as soon as I get paid, or not even having the feeling, seeing it in your account as soon as you get paid, the money just starts to deduct. Recently I saw like a little meme or something, and it was funny, but it wasn't funny at the same time, because it was like, well, wait a minute, like that's real life. It was like a train. So a train was coming into the station, and the train was going slow, and it was like, this is my paycheck coming in. It was just a slow train. And then it was like one of them speed trains that just go shoo, doing them fast trains. And it was like, hey, this is the money going out after I get my paycheck. This is life. And while we may joke about it, this is something that is serious and is impacting so many of us here today, that these are topics, these are discussions that we have to begin to have in order for us to have and build generational wealth. Let me know in the comments if what I'm saying right now is making sense to you. And don't forget, there are over 50% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. So please don't feel as though you're going through this alone, because you never know who your comment may help. So please put it in the comments if this is something that you are familiar with, or if this is something that you've struggled with in the past and you've healed and you don't live that paycheck to paycheck life anymore, but you do understand how that cycle is impactful, not just for you, but for those that you love also. Because that's one thing that we really believe, is the way that you handle your money doesn't just impact you, it also impacts those people, number one, in your household, number two, the people that are not in your household but you love them, and then number three, it does impact you so much so that now it's a trickle effect. And we want to make sure that we get out of these habits and we heal these habits, because so many of us get stuck in the cycle. Like, so many of us get stuck in this cycle of paycheck to paycheck living. Even people who you would feel and you would think that they have their finances in order, these people are also now, because of the cost of living, people are now like they're really trying to get rid of the middle class people. So we're starting to see less and less people in the middle class sector when it comes to your finances and your money and your pay and your lifestyle. We're seeing less and less people in that middle class because everybody is struggling. Like, it's not just you who is going through this. Everybody is feeling this impact on what's happening in the world, in the government, and the society around us. So this is why it's important for us to have these conversations, because if we don't, we're going to stay in these cycles. We're going to stay exactly where we are. And that is something that we do not want to do. We don't want to stay where we are if we currently do not have a healthy and beneficial relationship with our money. What we want to do is we want to be able to progress. And yes, we understand that. And if you don't understand, I want you to understand. I hope you understand by the end of this video that this is not something that's going to happen overnight. This is definitely going to be something that takes work. But I also want you to understand that small steps make great and mass leaps. So even though you may think that, oh, me doing this one step really won't be impactful, you have to understand that that small step, when you go and you look back, you'll actually see that that one step actually helped propel you 100 steps. So never be ashamed and never be, resentful, and never think that that one small step won't make an impact, because it most definitely and most certainly will. So please just always remember that no matter how small the step is, please remember that that step is ever so important. And a lot of times the reason why we're stuck in these cycles is because we lack budgeting knowledge. Have you, or did you, when you were younger, did you have money conversations with the adults in your life? Did you hear positive financial affirmations or conversations happening with the adults surrounding you? A lot of us didn't. A lot of us didn't hear those good, and like, we didn't go into the bank with our parents or our grandparents or our loved ones. We were kind of excluded. Like, you go outside, you stay outside, a child's place. But some things, especially money, especially the family money. Let's say you're a single mom, okay? Let's say you're a single mom, and I can give this example because there was a point in my life when I was a single mom. Say you are a single mother and you are the only one that's bringing in income. So you have to understand that the income, since you are the only one that's bringing in any income, that is the family budget. So if anything was to happen to your job, you get fired, you get let go, your hours are reducted, this is not just impacting you, this is impacting everyone in your household. So with the negative, you would talk to your children and you would let them know, like, hey, mom, she lost her job today. Hey, mom, my hours were reduced, so we're not going to be able to do this, or we're not going to be able to do that, or, you're not going to be able to do basketball and football or soccer or the arts or whatever it is. Like, you're not going to be able to do that because mom has now lost her income, and until I'm able to replenish and find this income again, we're not going to be able to do all of the things that we're going to do. So you would have that conversation, maybe not in those exact words, but you would be having a conversation if your income is negatively impacted in your household. So if you're willing to talk about the negative and the bad, you also have to be willing to talk about those good points, those high points with them. Hey, mom got a promotion. Hey, mom's going to be bringing in more money. Hey, mom, found a new job that has better hours. Like, these are conversations that we have to have, because we have to show our children and the loved ones and ourselves the good and the bad. Like, you can't expect the good without going through the bad, because then you don't appreciate the good if you've never been through the bad. But you have to learn, and you have to see what's going on, and you have to start to make those changes when it comes to being stuck in that cycle of paycheck to paycheck. Another thing that a lot of people, when they're in a paycheck to paycheck type of living cycle, is emotional spending and stress shopping. Now, we talked about this in the last, we talked about the overspending, emotional spending in the last YouTube, and I'll put that up here. So sometimes some people, they spend when they're happy. Sometimes people spend when they're sad. Like, it just depends on what type of person you are. And I'm not saying either is right or either is wrong, because You have to learn how to regulate, those spending habits, especially if you're already living paycheck to paycheck. So let's say you had a bad day and you're just like, you know what, I need to relax. So you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go get my nails done and I'm gonna go get my feet done. But you haven't paid your electric, you haven't paid your water bill, you just paid rent, but you're gonna go spend upwards now, shoot, like it's almost $100 to get a manicure and a pedicure. Like, y'all remember when I used to be $25? You could get both of them for $25. They don't do that no more. Right now it's costing you about $100 to get a manicure and a pedicure. You have to see that emotional spending because you had a bad day is now impacting the lifestyle that you want to live. By that, now you are now going to a cycle where now you're kind of paying Peter, or you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, because you decided to go get your nails done instead of making sure that your bills were paid. And like I said, this is a judgment-free zone, so we're not judging, because I will be the first one to put my hand up and say that not only have I done this, but I still currently do this from time to time. But I also understand my process, and like I said, this isn't something that happens overnight. So the life that I've lived, this is something that I've had, so this takes time for us to change. But I'm also more aware of when I'm doing things or if I'm emotionally spending, so that I can make that correction. So I'm like, okay, you only want to go do this because you're feeling this way, so you can do something, but we can't do it all. So either you're going to get your hands done, you're going to get your feet done. You're going to do one or the other, but you can't do it all, because you can spend $30 to $40, but you're not able to spend the full $100 because I have other responsibilities. So it's not about neglecting the things that you want to do, but it's about tampering down on the things that you want to do so that you can make sure that you can afford and you can live the lifestyle with the things that you need in life. We need food, we need shelter, we need electric, we need water, we need clothing. We need those things, but we also need to have that self-care and be able to pour from that cup, because we can't pour from an empty cup, but we also can't pour from a cup if we can't afford the cup. So I hope that makes sense. And then the rising cost of things and the paychecks that aren't going up with the rising price, with inflation and stuff that's going up. So that's also a reason why a lot of people now, or a lot more people now, are living paycheck to paycheck. So that's number 3, is the price is going up, but your paycheck staying the same. So these things, and this is, like I said, a lot of reasons why people currently are living now paycheck to paycheck, because the prices of stuff are going up. I went to the grocery store about 2 days ago because I was like, I'm gonna make some chicken on Friday. I was like, I'm gonna make some chicken, I was gonna fry some fish, and I was gonna fry some shrimp, because I had a busy weekend and I knew that I needed to still make sure that my family ate, but even when I'm not here. So I made sure that I had food so that they could eat throughout the weekend. But I went to the grocery store and chicken has gone back up to $20 a pack. But that's not on the news. They're not telling you that on the news, that chicken is going back up to $20 a pack. They're not telling you on the news that eggs are starting to go up and butter is starting to go up and the prices and stuff are starting to increase. But when we go into the grocery store, we see it. So we have to be mindful of that, because we see that these prices are going up, but our paychecks are not. The grocery stores have actually all started to do this transition where there are price stickers. So, when you go shopping and they have the price sticker right there, the tag to let you know, they're making these digital now. The goal is to be able to charge whatever price that they want to charge whenever they want to charge it. So let's say they do chicken the most on Friday, chicken sales on Friday. So their goal is to be able to say, okay, on Thursday, we can have the prices here, but we don't have to have somebody go in and change it. All I have to do is get on my laptop and I can change that price right there. That in throughout the day. So if they know that around 7 a.m. when they open, they're busy, and they're also busy when people get off of work, but they know that it's not as busy during the day, they can decrease the price during the day, but then in those, when people are out shopping, they can then increase their prices. So you could go to the grocery store an hour apart from somebody, and the same thing is now $4 more, because they now have the ability to change the price tags and the prices digitally. So we have to be mindful of that. And I said all of that so for you to understand that because they're playing with the prices and they're not they're not playing with our pay, we have to be able to juggle and balance whatever it is that they're doing in the world, because we still need to eat. We still need to survive. We still have basic needs and necessities that this is what they're playing with right now. So we have to be able to understand that the prices are going to continue to go up. Our pay isn't going to go up. But in order for us to live the life that we want, which is not paycheck to paycheck, we have to be able and be willing to, number one, let some stuff go. But number two, have to balance and budget the funds that we do have coming in. Now, I kind of want to give you some steps to take, okay? So that you can start the process of not living in a paycheck to paycheck cycle. Now, the first one is, this is anytime somebody comes to me, any of my clients, if anybody comes to me, one of my first things that I tell them to do is you need to understand where your money is going. That's plain and simple. Where is your money going? The money that you have coming in and the money that is going out. Where is it going? So let's just say you haven't looked at your bank statements at all last month. So it doesn't matter where you watching this, when you watching this. Last month, you didn't look at your bank statements, okay? You don't know where your money is going. You don't know if you were overcharged for something or if you were double charged for something. Yeah, you may look at the app and you may scroll, but that's not the same as actually digging deep and diving deep into what's going on with your money. So you may not even understand that you're spending $1,000 eating out every month. And I give the $1,000 as an example because prior to me and my fiance looking at our budget and looking at our spending, we were spending about $1,000 a month in just food. And I can cook. So that is horrible when you think about it, because that's $1,000 that could have helped us with getting the things that we wanted at that time of our life that we didn't have because we didn't have the money. And when we went and we looked at our balance and our statements, we were like, wait a minute, like a lot of this money is just going to food. So we had to start to make changes to say, okay, we set aside a day, like, okay, well, we can eat out this amount, or amount of money, I'm sorry. We can eat out this amount of money a week. And we allotted this, and we were able to then save so much of our money when we just set up that boundary of saying, we're not going to spend $1,000 every single month on takeout, especially when you can cook. And it's the convenience. And a lot of times that's where a lot of our money goes, is the convenience of not having to do something. And if you were living to paycheck, you got to leave that convenience alone and let it go. And you have to start to make other changes. So what I do and what I did and what I tell my clients to do is pull your last 3 months. And if I get, oh my God, I got to look at my last 3 months. Okay, well, pull your last month statement. It's better with 3 months so you can kind of see your patterns. But if 3 months is too much, fine, pull last month's statement and tell me to get 2 highlighters, 2 pens that's 2 different colors, and I need you to tell me, circle, highlight, whatever, your wants one color and your needs another color. Okay? Now, because I understand that it is important not to just eliminate all of the things that you want, I say spend half. Are you able in this month, this coming month, are you able to spend just half of those things that you wanted but you didn't need? So I tell you to track your money. So track your money of what you spent last month. Now start to track the money that you're spending this month. And you can do it with an app. You can do it in your notebook. You can write it down. However you do it, whatever works best for you, that you're, number one, going to remember, and number two, you're going to stay consistent. Do it that way, and then tell me in the next month, how did you do and what did it look like and what did you notice about your spending and your patterns and stuff like that? Because if you don't know and you're not aware, then you're going to keep doing it. All right. So in the comments, that's number one. So in the comments, tell me, have you ever tracked your spending? And then if you have, tell me what's one thing that you found, like once you were tracking your spending, what's one thing that you found? Like, that you didn't even either you didn't know that you were spending it on, or number two, you weren't aware that this is how much you were spending on a monthly basis. All right, so don't forget, tell me that in the comments, okay?